Hello, friends from across the nation and around the world. I'm Martin, and you are listening to Dad's Bedtime Stories. Now, it has been a while since I've done a real episode. I've been on vacation for the last 2.5 weeks or so I only had sort of pre-recorded ones, used a little bit of AI, and tonight I'm excited to get back to my own stories. I spent the morning digging into the vault of voicemails that I received while I was gone, and I decided that we would start off with a couple suggestions to continue our Wizardcraft 2.0 series, so let's check them out.
Hi, my name is Mava, and I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan, and I have a suggestion for the Wizardcraft 2.0 where you go back to the Wizardcraft's cave and you get more eggs, like a water dragon and an ice dragon. Bye, I love your podcast.
Great suggestion. Whatever your name was, I re-listened to that a few times, and it sounded like it was either Ava or Mava, or probably something I didn't hear at all. So let me know what your name actually is, and we'll check out our next suggestion.
My name is James, and I'm from Colorado, and I was wondering for a story idea for the Wizardcraft 2.0 series. If you could train your legendary nature dragon to adult, and then you teach some villagers the teleportation and diamond golem spells, and you face off against the Wizard King again and take over one of his small villages. Thanks, I love your podcast. Oh yeah, and I have your Cards of Power book, and I love it. But I love your podcast.
Well, thank you, James. Your idea and the other person's idea, whatever her name was, mixed together in my head, and I came up with this episode. If you like it, don't forget to rate it, review it, join my Patreon, or whatever you really want to do. And if you want to be like James, you could buy my Cards of Power book, available on Amazon. Now, if you haven't listened to Wizardcraft 2.0 before, I would kind of search for that in the search bar, go back to the first one, and you'll have tons of cool stories to enjoy. Or if you just want to start here anyways, that's totally fine with me. I believe where we left off, we'd made a village, made some friends, gained some power, and most recently, we stole a dragon egg from the Wizard King and hatched it into a legendary nature dragon named Diamondback. And that is where we're gonna pick things up today. So, get as comfy as you can in those beds, close your eyes, and imagine yourself doing what the kid in the story does. You open your eyes, but the only thing you can see are the words, "Wake up," with a question mark. You select yes with your mind, and suddenly the world comes into view once again. The digital world that you were sucked into not so long ago. Now, having recently hatched a new nature dragon, the very first thing you decide to do is to go check on it. You rush out the door, out toward the farms, and sure enough, you see your new friend, Diamondback, just lounging around in the farm area, eating meat that's being fed to him by the farmers. Strangely, he looks even bigger than he did before. These dragons seem to grow really quickly when they're fed. Good morning, Diamondback. I see they're feeding you well, you say. Yes, they are. This is some of the best food I've ever had, the dragon answers. Okay, if it's the best food you've ever had, why do you look kinda sad? You ask. Well, it's just that my brothers and sisters are left behind. Your brothers and sisters? Do you mean the other dragon eggs at the Wizard King's cave thingy? You ask. Yes, I believe so. You see, we dragons have a sort of mental connection to each other. And, well, they weren't born yet. We did speak mind to mind. I can still feel the connection, but I'm worried about them. The villagers here have told me about the Wizard King, and I don't think I want my brothers and sisters to be in his service. Oh, to be honest with you, I don't really want your brothers and sisters to be in his service either. If he has a whole bunch of dragons hatched, well, my village may not be safe. Come on, Diamondback. We're gonna come up with a plan to save those guys, and maybe put an end to this Wizard King. Oh, are you serious? You'd do that for me? Diamondback asks. Of course I would, buddy, you say as you walk up and scratch Diamondback behind the ears. You climb onto Diamondback's back once again, and he flaps his gigantic wings, lifting the two of you up into the air, above your entire village. It's become pretty impressive, honestly. The whole thing is surrounded by a gigantic wall that seems to get bigger and bigger every day as the golems mine more rock and iron ore, and the builders continue to improve the thing. You see golems and villagers walking everywhere. You quickly swoop down towards the town hall, landing in front of the main doors. There, you see your friends Gus, the town administrator, Griffin, and Owen. Well, if it isn't the three people I wanted to talk to. I think we have some things to discuss, you say. I'm worried that with all of the other dragon eggs that the Wizard King has, he might be able to overwhelm our village. Luckily, I don't think he's figured out how to hatch them yet. But if he does, I don't know what we're gonna do. Ah, Gus replies. That is an excellent point. I suggest we strike now, or do something about those dragon eggs, Gus says. Well, I don't know about that. The Wizard King is still pretty powerful. It'll take us a long time to get a full army of golems there to attack, and it'll leave our village defenseless, Griffin says. I say we go back in there first and get as many dragon eggs as we can. Just kind of weaken the place. Then we can use the eggs to, take over the village and put a stop to the Wizard King once and for all. Well, I don't disagree with that plan. However, with the Wizard King still around, the village will still be in threat, Gus responds. Well, yeah, Griffin says, but we'll have a whole bunch of dragons to take care of the threat. And that's when an idea pops into your mind. What if, you say, what if I teach you guys and maybe a small team of others my time and teleportation spells. That way, some of us can sneak in and steal as many eggs as possible, and others can sneak in and, well, take out the Wizard King. Without an entire army to deal with. You say, Gus says, that might be a good way to do things. However, if we, unalive him, he will simply respawn. Then he will gather his army once more. I believe the best option is to capture him. You, Gus, Griffin, and Owen continue talking through the details of the plan. And before long, you've come up with the entire thing. Gus will round up a loyal group of soldiers. You will teach them as many of the spells as you can, and the ones capable of learning the time and teleportation spells will break into the Wizard King's village, just like you did. Half of the team will gather the eggs, while you, Owen, and Griffin will go for the Wizard King himself. With the plan set in stone, you go about beginning to execute it. The first order of business, teaching Owen and Griffin your time and, teleportation spells. One by one, you place your hands on their temples and transfer the memories of time and the memories of teleportation. Luckily, both of them are easily able to learn each of the spells. Soon another thought occurs to you. What about the Diamond Golem spell? If I can only do it once a month, I may as well teach it to the two of you so you can do it once a month as well. And with that, you again place your hands on Owen's temples and transfer the knowledge of creating diamond golems. Then you do the same thing to Griffin. When you're finished, the two of them look kind of tired from absorbing so much knowledge in one day. But you head to the town storage anyways and get as many of the diamonds as you can find. Owen and Griffin both begin to wave their arms around in the air, and each of them creates their very own diamond golem. Now, they don't perfectly fit into the plan of sneaking into the Wizard King's village, but they should help you defend your own village while you're gone, and that makes you feel pretty good. Over the next few days, the whole village begins to work on this plan. Gus gathers a number of soldiers, forces them to do some sort of oath of allegiance that won't allow them to betray you, and you teach as many of them as possible the time and teleportation spells. Only about half of the soldiers gathered are able to absorb the information, which helps you narrow down the team. Darren the blacksmith, on the other hand, works away at new sets of armor. Dark black armor that's perfect for infiltration. And all the while, Diamondback continues to eat and grow until he's become a very, very large dragon. One capable of carrying, 10 people, which, luckily, is the exact size team you've gathered. Now, you, Owen, and Griffin can all fly using wind magic. The same isn't true for all of the soldiers. Some of them have gathered wind magic, but others weren't successful. It seems that most people can't really learn as many spells as you can for some reason. Griffin and Owen seem to be exceptions as well. Either way, you're just happy to have enough soldiers with the powers that you need to fulfill this mission. Once all of the preparations are finished, all of the soldiers are dressed up in their brand new jet black ninja armor and equipped with jet black ninja katanas, acid dipped of course. You all gather around Diamondback. Alright, Diamondback, here's the plan. Owen, Griffin, and I will fly beside you while you carry the other 7 soldiers. We're going to approach the town from as high up as possible, above the clouds if we can. I don't want them to see anything coming. As soon as we can get the village in our sights, well, we will begin to teleport. You display a map that you've kind of hand-drawn from your memories of the village before, showing them some of the blind spots and, of course, the cave that houses the dragons. Now, while you guys head into the cave and get as many of the eggs as you possibly can, Owen, Griffin, and I will be headed here, to this building. You point to a building that, well, you're pretty sure must be the Wizard King's, mostly because it looks far more expensive and far bigger than any of the other buildings, which you're pretty sure fits with the Wizard King's personality. Now, once you guys scoop up all of the eggs you can fit into your inventory, which hopefully is all of them, I want you to teleport back to Diamondback. Diamondback, you keep flying high above the city, out of weapons range, but close enough that they can teleport to you. Understood? I believe I do understand. And since this is for my brothers and sisters, I will do what I can. In the meantime, Owen, Griffin, and I are gonna try to capture the Wizard King. Now, Darren created these brand new weapons for us. Ones that should sort of wrap him up tight and allow us to bring him back home. Everybody understand? You ask, and the soldiers all acknowledge. The soldiers climb onto the now very large nature dragon, and he begins to flap his wings, bringing them high up into the air. You, Owen, and Griffin activate your wind spells and allow the wind to lift you up off of the ground. Together, you fly high above the world, high above the fields and mountains, lakes and rivers, until soon you see the Wizard King's main village. All right, everyone, you say as you fly through the air, the village is right there. Diamondback, I need you to swoop down just long enough for the others to teleport. Hopefully you won't be seen. If you can get close to the mountain itself, it should help let them in. Understood, Diamondback says, and then he swoops down below the clouds for an instant. You watch as the other soldiers disappear suddenly, obviously teleporting where they need to be. All right, Owen, Griffin, this is it. I say we teleport down into those bushes just outside the house and activate our time powers. From there, we'll make our way through the halls as quickly as we can, hopefully before our time stop ability runs out. Everyone have one of the new weapons that Darren made? You ask. And in answer, Owen and Griffin both produce a large ball-like structure in their hands. Apparently, when you throw it at someone, it'll kind of explode into a whole bunch of ropes that'll wrap around them, with both Owen and Griffin indicating that they're ready. You focus on a spot outside the Wizard King's house. You access your mana, and you perform the teleportation spell. Instantly, you find yourself on the ground and in the bushes. All right, everyone. I think this place is too guarded to teleport in. We're gonna need to stop time. On 3, you say. 1, 2, 3. All at once, you, Griffin, and Owen activate your time spells. You speed yourselves up, and the world around you becomes very, very slow. The soldiers guarding the place stop moving, the birds stop flying, and, well, for all intents and purposes, it looks like the world around you has frozen in place. A countdown timer appears in your field of vision. With no time to waste, the 3 of you begin to run, straight between the frozen guards, down the hallway, and up the stairs. You've never been in the house before, but it just kind of looks like where the bedrooms would be. Eventually you come to a large door that screams, well, Wizard King. You run straight for the door and kick it as hard as you can. Moving at this speed compared to the rest of the world, the door doesn't stand a chance. It immediately shatters into pieces, and you, Owen, and Griffin break through. You find yourselves in a bedroom with someone sleeping in the bed. You quickly produce the new weapon from your inventory, throw it at the individual. It explodes into a whole bunch of ropes that wrap around the person and their bedspread. With the time on your time stop power almost running out, you allow time to return to normal for a minute while you run and collect the Wizard King. You can hear that the soldiers have realized something's happening. Maybe breaking the door wasn't such a good idea after all. You run to the bed, lift up the person covered in rope, only to realize that it's not a person at all. It's just a whole bunch of hay stuffed together. Well, 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 a voice says from behind you. I was wondering when you would get here. You look to see the Wizard King standing there. You didn't think I would actually sleep here, did you? I see you were trying to take me prisoner. Well, the joke's on you, because now you are my prisoners. The Wizard King yanks on a rope hanging behind him, and suddenly, metal bars fall down in all of the windows and all of the doorways, trapping you and your friends in a gigantic metal cage. You stare at the Wizard King. Well, I think you've made one mistake, you say. How? And what's that exactly? Well, you locked yourself in here with us. You immediately charge a bolt of lightning into your hand and shoot it toward the Wizard King. The Wizard King, however, just sort of catches the bolt with his hand and absorbs it into a little floating ball.
Well, isn't that a clever trick? You know lightning magic. Well, la-dee-da for you. Luckily, I have been able to train with all of the best wizards from throughout the world. Your poultry lightning magic spell is a very low level compared to what I'm capable of.
As if to demonstrate that point, the lightning held in the Wizard King's hand explodes outwards in 3 separate bolts of lightning, connecting with Owen, Griffin, and yourself all at once. You find yourself flying backwards and smashing into the walls of the room. Ow! You decide to try something else. You again reach inside and unleash a plume of fire towards the Wizard King.
Oh no, not fire, the Wizard King says,
before again absorbing the fire into a ball and throwing it down at the ground, lighting the floor of his own room on fire.
Whatever will I do? I'm so helpless I don't know. Just kidding. Your powers are useless against me.
You look over at Owen and Griffin. You all nod to each other in understanding. It's time to just teleport out of here. Capturing the Wizard King doesn't look like it's going to be possible. You look through the bars of the room, activate your teleportation, and suddenly you find yourself falling down to the ground again with a bit of a headache. You just smashed into the bars.
Oh, I should have mentioned. This place has anti-teleportation runes as well. I've thought of everything.
Not knowing what else to do, you order your friends, "Quick, activate your time!" And the world around you slows down once again. Well, everything except the Wizard King.
Oh, you can do the time thing too, I see, the Wizard King says. It is a very useful power against, well, everyone else who can't use it. Too bad for you that I am not one of those people. Now, the Wizard King says, I think it's time to show you who the real boss is.
Unsure of what else to do, you back up against the wall. When suddenly, there's a crash, and the entire ceiling caves in, ripped open by none other than Diamondback. Diamondback looks at the Wizard King and unleashes a huge plume of fire. This time it's too powerful for the Wizard King to completely absorb. It pushes him backwards against the wall. "Quickly," Diamondback says, and you, Griffin and Owen, don't hesitate. You run and jump on the back of the dragon. The Wizard King steps forward, charging another gigantic bolt of lightning and unleashing it towards Diamondback. Diamondback pulls one of its wings in front of its body, and the shock blasts against it. "Ah," Diamondback says. Then he begins to glow green. He unleashes a blast of green energy down into the ground, and trees begin to grow around the house. They shoot in through the doors, through the walls, through the windows, and they begin growing around the Wizard King. The Wizard King immediately begins to blast them with all sorts of different powers. Lightning, fire, some sort of kinetic blast, or like a force blast power that immediately snaps a whole bunch of the trees apart. But in that time, Diamondback jumps into the air and takes off towards the caves. The alarm bells in the town ring as you swoop over, hoping to find your other friends. Sure enough, you see the other soldiers making their way out of the cave. As soon as they see you, one of them points, and they immediately teleport. Right after, you find yourself surrounded by a whole bunch of soldiers dressed in jet black armor. Diamondback continues to flap his wings and fly higher and higher into the sky. A barrage of arrows shoots in the air towards you, but they seem to just bounce off of Diamondback's skin. Catapults, bolts of lightning, plumes of fire shoot up to the sky as well, but Diamondback, even with this number of people aboard, dodges left and right, and then unleashes another plume of green light towards the ground, causing trees to instantly sprout up around the place and kind of zigzag around the soldiers and wizards unleashing the spells, in part blocking their view. Before long, Diamondback has made his way high up into the air and far away from the Wizard King's village. Alright, well, hopefully we were at least partially successful. Did you guys get the eggs? You ask.
Yes, sir, one of the soldiers said. We were able to capture all of the eggs.
Perfect, you say as you fly back home. Even though you weren't able to defeat the Wizard King, and, well, you discovered that he is far more powerful than you ever imagined. You at least are about to have a team of dragons to help you deal with him. After a pretty long journey, Diamondback swoops down towards your village and lands in front of the town hall. Gus is there to greet you.
Well, how did it go?
Gus asks. Well, we were partially successful, you explain. We got the eggs, but the Wizard King almost got us.
Well, almost doesn't really count, luckily. I see you're here safe. I will have some of my people gather the eggs, and we can deal with hatching them tomorrow. I see that you and your friends need some rest.
And that couldn't be more true. You deactivate your armor and say goodbye to Owen and Griffin. You head back towards your house, open up the door, and plop down in your bed almost immediately. Your muscles are sore, your confidence is slightly shaken, but overall, you're pretty happy you were able to capture the eggs. You lay back on the pillow, and a prompt appears in your field of vision. Sleep? With a question mark. You mentally select yes, and suddenly, a wave of fatigue passes through your body, making you sleepier than you could even imagine. Your eyelids become heavy, so you let them close. You notice your breath as it rises and falls, and with each out-breath, you sink down deeper and deeper into the mattress, until soon you find yourself drifting off to thoughts of new dreams and new adventures to come. Good night, everyone.